Hi everyone, we are Kiana and Giacomo. We're two architecture students in the master program in ETH. I am in Zurich now and Giacomo is in Montreal. So that's why we're recording on Zoom. And I'm originally from Shanghai and I have lived in many different cities. And this experience enables me to understand very well the global political landscape. And that's why we did this project out of like our interest. And maybe Giacomo could also introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Giacomo. I'm born in Italy, but have been studying for many years in Mendrisio first and Zurich, then now working on a research project in Montreal. And I'm very interested in how architecture has the power to bring together different voices. So this is something that we see in this project, which was born in the fall semester 2021 at ETH. Within the studio of Arno Brandelhuber. The topic was architecting ecosystems. So it's an understanding that goes beyond the discipline of architecture as limited to the human sphere, but also decides to include and realizes that we must include more than human actors. There's a deep focus on the political and economic context and a shift from the concept of Anthropocene to the concept of Capitalocene. So this discussion was extremely linked to our visits in Almeria, which is the southernmost province of Spain. It's actually even closer to Algeria and Morocco than it is to Madrid. The area is actually the largest agricultural concentration of greenhouses in the world, 32,000 hectares, and it produces 3.5 million tons of fruits and vegetables every year. This is enabled by extracted resources such as water and sand, by cheap labor from Eastern Europe and Northern Africa, by formal and informal settlements. All of this acts together to then create the very difficult landscape of Almeria, which we visited, and maybe Kiana can talk about our studio and why we decided to work on fiction.
Yes, so actually you can see a bit vibe of the greenhouses in Amelia from our background. These are two different greenhouses. Okay. And after our trip, so we actually realized that the social, political, and environmental landscape of Amelia is super complex and interwoven, and it's very difficult to actually tackle it with a problem-solving design attitude. And so that's why we decided to go for this fictional storyline in the future to rethink all the relationships at the same time. And so if you watched our video, our story is based in 2036, when we say that because of climate change, a Mediterranean hurricane washed out the greenhouses in Amelia 5 years before. And this crisis has forced people to rethink a more collaborative way of living and managing resources. A new cooperative was built up for farming both on land and sea, with seaweed farming as a more sustainable income source. It is also combined with housing for homeless farmers and workers and tourist industry of hotel and restaurant. So the land is now owned collectively by these three groups of people, and everyone has equal voting rights in the management of the shared resources, and connections among those previous isolated social groups are now established.
We decided to take part actually in the competition, which we came across on the internet, and we were immediately drawn by the brief and its underlying assumption that architecture can change politics. We think that the built environment has a double nature of being both a physical manifestation of beliefs and values of a society, and also at the same time it's influencing lifestyle and social organization of its inhabitants and users. We hope to open a conversation on the possibilities of architecting political spaces that respond to the evolving society and at the same time affect political practices. And if you want to get in touch with us, if you have any comments or questions,
yes,
feedbacks especially, our address is futureafterfuture@gmail.com, so get in touch.
Yes, ciao.